Good evening, everybody, and welcome to a Tuesday night Legacy Fight Night. I am Dr. Leo here with my homie Prez. How you doing, homie?
Oh, doing just wonderful today, I
Yeah,
think.
we got a fun night for everybody here. We got a mod fight challenge. We're just having a little bit of fun, taking on the mods. I was on the chopping block last week, and now
Well
we got.
played last week.
Thank you. I had a really fun time, and the deck really showed up, and I was happy to just cabal therapy copies and have fun with that sort of stuff. But we'll talk about that later. But we have an exciting match. So we got a battle of two brews. So more of an old favorite in Deadguy Ale, Mr. Jack Dax. He was featured as well. He's been kind of on this Deadguy Ale kick for a little bit, and I can't fault him. It's great.
It's a super sweet deck. So, excuse me, for anyone who is not familiar with it, Dead Guy Ale is basically a black-white kind of taxes-ish hybrid, but it's more leveraging the power of Stoneforge Mystic and Dark Confidant for card advantage. So there's a ton of
Yes.
discard in it. It's got a lot of removal in it. It's got a very efficient clock with the Stoneforge and such like that. But yeah, the Dark Confidant's able to just generate a pile of cards, which is really good. So the deck is it's trying to out mid range all other mid range decks is basically a good way of putting it.
Yeah. Importantly here, this is the one black white mid range deck that can also leverage cards like Lingering Souls. It's been a minute
Yes.
since we've seen that card, and I love it. Hey, welcome chat. Uh, but this matchup though is crazy because we have a Gruul mid range list that Nizkoman piloted last weekend in our Legacy challenge in the weekend. And
Oh yeah.
this list is this list is a pile. It's basically attempting to do Ponza in Legacy, and I got mad respect for it.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Yes.
and it should be really cool there. Yeah, with the Grove into the Noble Hierarch, and we see the Mother of Runes come down here as well. So
Yeah, so this is a little bit of a budget brew. So we do see two stomping grounds. This kind of deck, it is a noble hierarch bird. It's not a blue based days deck. So this is one of those misconceptions in Legacy where people think that you always have to play with original duels. You do not have to always play with original duels. You can also get away with shock lands and decks that really don't care or can just make up for that.
yeah. So another cool thing here that we see as well is the Bone Crusher Giant. So
Yeah.
with the spell side of it, deals 2 damage to any target, and damage can't be prevented this turn. So of note, with Mother of Runes, if you go to block a creature and have Mother of Runes give protection, and then you use the stomp on another card or another creature, what happens is the damage can't be prevented. So even with the Mother of Runes shield going up, the creature that you're blocking with is still going to take the damage.
Yeah, so that same trick is also true with things like Questy B, my homie, the Wall of Text, the
Yeah,
quarterback. That card actually can actually negate Mother Runes and Giver
yeah.
Runes and Maze of Ith and Solitary
That's a
Confinement and
super
True Name Nemesis.
timely Tide Hollow Sculler.
Yeah, that Tidehollow Sculler
Yeah.
is huge because hitting that tireless tracker was massive.
Yeah, the Tireless Tracker would have been just absolutely enormous here for sure.
Oh yeah, so oh
Especially
yeah,
with having the fetch line to follow up with.
yeah, so Struggler, yeah. So this is basically very similar to Ponza. So we got things like the Bone Crusher Giant, we got the a Tireless Tracker, one of the best mid-range cards there is. 3 Ramunap Excavator to really buy back those wastelands, those Grover the Burn Wells, City of Traders. There's we got the Punishing Fire combination. We also got 4 of a Pillage in this deck. So
That's cool.
this deck's going hard with the land destruction.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's really interesting. I mean, it's got Bloodbraid Elf to hit a lot of different effects, but this is just trying to play a very fair mid-range deck. And so these are going to be a battle of just two decks that can just grind. Oh,
Yeah.
Seasoned Pyro.
Season Pyro is a sweet card.
Oh yeah. Also has just perfect body. Like, look at that card.
Oh yeah. It's
Just
also really cool
chiseled.
too because it I've noticed that a lot of combo decks have been picking it up. Like a lot of the not traditional shortcake or not not traditional short kick, not traditional painter builds, I know, have actually been running that card a lot, as it's a form of card advantage. It enables you to put stuff in your graveyard for Goblin Welder, and it also makes tokens, which is another clock. So it's seen a lot of play in that regard, but it's got it's I don't know. I really like the card. It's
Yeah,
super cool.
it's been a while since it's been able to find its home in Legacy. It was played in some Grixis Delver builds. It was played in some just Grixis Control builds. But honestly, from the addition of Plague Engineer into the meta, it's kind of unfortunately been one of those things that having the production of 1/1s is just not always the best. I mean, I've been playing with Monastery Mentor lately, and honestly, getting Plague Engineer just feels terrible with that kind of a deck.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we are seeing a Kaya Orzhov Usurper here from Mr. Jack Dex, though, and this card has honestly been one of my like sleepers for Legacy, and has been like really showing up in Abzan Maverick lists, Abzan Nick Fit lists, like anything that has black white and can go mid range. This card is amazing at. It's got a +1 that says exile up to two target cards from a single graveyard. You gain 2 life if at least one creature card was exiled this way. So it gains you
Yeah.
some life. It also hits important cards in your graveyard, things like Uros, Cling to Dust, things that like just get value from being in the graveyard.
Yeah. It looks like we saw a downtick there on the Noble
Yeah.
Hierarch.
So this downtick is even more unique because like it's removal, but it's only specific removal. So it says exile target non-land permanent with mana cost 1 or less. So this thing hits your Noble Hierarchs. This thing hits Delvers. It even hits Flip Delvers actually because it still retains that 1 CMC. Oh,
Yeah.
but
That's big. That's big. This
that's
Nissa is huge.
this Nissa is gigantic, and honestly, like I've seen what this card can do in standard. I've never seen it in legacy. In Legacy, I tried to make it work in Nick Fit, but I was like, why am I playing this over Nissa Vital Force?
Man,
But
you want to talk about a format that Nissa's good in? Pioneer. Oh my
oh
goodness.
yeah, oh yeah, it's very good in here. And honestly, just seeing it 5 mana plays, it's a
Yeah.
solid threat. And
I
yeah, that
also
Kaya is going down.
Yeah, I also really like the turning the Ancient Tomb into a creature here, because Niz doesn't really need the Ancient Tomb anymore. Niz has so much mana at this point. Plus, also not only that, but the Stomping Ground and the Forest both make additional green. So Niz is sitting on 5 mana just with the lands plus the Noble Hierarch.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, I mean, it going big is where unfortunately Deadguy is a little bit on the slow side against. It does very well against going wide boards. It's got 2 Plague Engineer in the main right now. It's got Lingering Souls, but the removal package though is in this deck just massive. It's got 4 Swords of Plowshares to eliminate. Importantly, here, I was the one that talked Mr. Jack Daxon to eliminate. I think this card is bonkers. I've been playing it in my
Yeah,
Esper Stolen color. If you are not in a deck with Abrupt Decay, you need to be playing this card.
Eliminate's so good.
Yeah, and then
The
we
fact
got
it's just a clean answer to cards like Oko 2 is crazy. So we're
yeah,
actually seeing just Council's Judgment there on the Nissa, which is very good, because that Nissa would have ran away with this pretty quick. And
exactly.
then Thoughtseize
Council
showing
Judge.
just a land.
Hey, Julio, 123. Thank you for the follow.
Yes, thank you. Much appreciated.
Helping keep the Legacy Eternal community alive. So we got one of them Vindicate as well in this deck, and as one of our mods, Chaotic Bear can tell you, this card is criminally underplayed in Legacy.
It is. Vindicate is such a powerful card.
And indicate, hey,
Indicated P.
indicated P. Welcome to the channel. Thank you for the follow. Yeah, Champagne. Yeah, Esper Vile used to use Eliminate. Yeah, Skyclave is just way better. But in decks that don't want to be or don't have the power of Aether Vial, I really think Eliminate is such a good card, especially in
Yeah,
like Grixis builds that just can't deal with an Oko besides Pyroblast, stuff like that.
exactly.
Yeah, I've been loving the card, and with Seagate Stormcaller, it's 4 mana, just boom boom, hit 2 things. That's not too bad.
Yeah. Well, thanks a lot for coming, hanging out, and playing here, Indicated. Glad to have you on. Yeah, we've been trying to. It's really hard to go play Legacy these days that isn't online, so or isn't on MTGO. So we've been trying to get it to go because I know a lot of people invest a lot into their Legacy decks and they like to use them. So Super glad to be
Yeah.
a part of trying to keep that alive.
Indicated. So
Ooh.
this started. Oh yes, Jit. Oh,
Yeah. That
this
Tide
is
Hollow Scholar became a very real threat.
yeah, but still only a 2/2, so it will die against one of these rippling abs of the seasoned pyromancer. But
Indeed. Uh,
oh, stomp, getting
yeah.
it, and gets the tireless tracker back now. And
Yeah.
looks like it looks like Mr.
Yeah.
Jack Dax is calling it good here. Yeah, having those stomps, those well-timed stomps, just really put it in for Mr. Jack Dax.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a super rough match for sure. It looked like so just got off to a good start and then just constantly removing everything. But again, that's exactly what we're supposed to do. Awesome, Houston, thank you for the follow.
Wow, you actually nailed that. I wasn't even gonna try. I was just gonna say Bass. Thanks for the follow,
Yeah.
homie. Bass, one of the well-known Goblin players on the Discord. If you are playing in an event, you see Bass's name there, you're like, oh, I'm gonna get gobboed. Uh,
Oh yeah. Even if you know what's coming, it won't save you.
uh indicated playing the paper mouse different from Moto, who likes playing versus Snow and Delver all day. Yeah, indicated. So that's what we've strived to produce here. So we are the local meta. We are this community that just fosters the paper world where people bring wild decks, they go to their FNMs, they have fun. We are the local meta for everybody to be here. If you don't have a local meta at home, let us be your local meta.
Yes,
Yeah,
indeed.
and indicated honestly, hey, when it comes to this meta, it's so unique. And if you want to find out more about this meta, my new article is being dropped tomorrow morning. Finally done. There's so much data to go through over the last 3 months to just give you guys a definitive answer on where the best decks were, what the meta looked like over this season, and what to expect going into the next season. And I'm super excited to bring this to you guys. I get into spoilers. I get into honestly, this is one of my biggest articles I've written, and I hope you all get to enjoy it.
Yeah, for sure.
Uh, uh,
So, do you want to just do a quick dive into Mr. Jack Dax's sideboard there?
yeah. So hit me with it. What do you what we got here?
I need to. I don't have the link handy. If you do, if you can do that one, I'll go over Niz's sideboard there. If that's okay. Sorry about that. Oh, you've muted yourself.
I got it. Sorry about that. I didn't even realize I clicked that. So we got one Tormod's Crypt, one Grafdigger's Cage, one Pithing Needle, two Surgical Extractions, one Containment Priest, two Disenchants, one Liliana's Triumph, three Thalia Guardian of Thraben, one Mirren Crusader, 100% going to come in.
Yeah.
Toxic Deluge, and a Gideon Ally of Zendikar. Tell me what you like here.
I really like the Gideon Ally Zendikar. I actually also like the Toxic Deluge here. We did see Birds of Paradise and a couple Noble Hierarchs, which would be good. The other thing as well is that it seems like you have Seasoned Pyromancer coming in or in the deck. You have those Bone Crusher Giants. They have 3 toughness. You have the uh, oh my gosh, Tireless Tracker has 2 toughness, stuff like that. So I think the Deluge would probably be a good one to bring in, just because it's a nice, clean, pay 3 life, answers all the creatures. And yeah, Mirror
Importantly,
Crusader just having pro green is going to be insane.
importantly here, it does answer the elementals that Nissa creates. So you can also
Yes.
turn your Toxic Deluge into multiple Stone Rains.
Yeah.
So I do like the Toxic Deluge. It's especially the one of Mirror Crusader. Unfortunately, it does get stomped, but it's still a phenomenal card. And if you let it go with a Jit, it's game over. I really do like things like Grafdigger's Cage. There is a Cascade part of this deck, as well as the fact that you do have things like Punishing Fire that just locks down. And also, I wouldn't mind Containment Priest as well. Lily's Triumph is very thin, and like I think Gideon Allies and the card giving you that go wide strategy, just producing bodies nonstop, and then antheming your team for a win is just like where you want to be.
I think that's 100% correct. Just the go wide strategy part of the of Gideon, I think, cannot be understated there.
All right,
On
so
Niz's
hit me with
side,
come on.
yeah, on Niz's side, we got in the sideboard 1 Tropical Island, 4 copies of Pyroblast, 3 Relic of Virginitas, 1 Abrade, 2 Scavenging Ooze, 2 Choke, and 2 Oko Thief of Crowns. So I guess we know why that Tropical Island's there.
Yeah, so if I'm here, honestly, scavenging use can just run away with the game. But as we saw, creature her removal is just par for par, just like all over Deadguy Ale. So I don't think that's the best. I would honestly just bring the Tropical Island to Oko Thief Crown to just
Yeah.
rely on the Oko because Oko is Broco.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. There is a Taiga here.
Yep, Taigen's Noble, and this is honestly where these sort of mid-range decks want to start out. I've played a lot of mid-range. You want your mana acceleration out, get advantage of it, and just start putting that pressure. And that's what we saw earlier. Just Nizgleman had that mana pressure very quickly.
Yeah. You're going to get a double fetch here from Mr. Jack Dax. Grabbing the swamp.
Yeah, Champagne. Let's be real here. Every matchup feels like a good Oko matchup.
Yeah, unless you're, well, I guess even against Storm is still like the thing about Oko that's broken is the fact that he himself is a clock in a vacuum.
He himself is a clock in a vacuum that allows himself to basically run away with the game if it's not answered.
Yeah.
And
ooh, this hand's rough. Ooh.
I'm taking the Punishing Fire.
Yeah, I agree.
But
just get rid of that right now. At the same time, though, you're gonna, you have the red source in order to get a seasoned out next turn, and depending on how much Niz wants those lands, could just start going to town with that. Because
I agree.
If you discard the 2 cards, Seasoned Pyromancer's 3 bodies, which is massive.
Yeah, I agree completely. But importantly, with Seasoned Pyromancer, you have to discard non-lands in order to create the bodies.
Oh,
so,
wow. What a good draw.
Stomp, get the Punishing Fire back. Feels bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, this matchup, there's just 1-for-1 removal on each side just consistently. But like when it comes to the Gruul mid-range list, each one of their 1-for-1 removal comes with an additional effect. Either it's recursive and you can get it back, or it's a body. It's a 4/3 body. Like that's actually pretty good. And for a long time here, we had Lamfan, I believe, who ran this blue-red adventure control list that was just Brazen Borrowers and what's it called? The Stomp deck.
Wow.
And it did
Any
really
Lucky
well
Charms
here.
in there?
No, but it did really well.
That would be
it was a
crazy.
control list.
Yeah.
And yes, Bass, yes, there's 2 Plague Engineers in the main deck.
Yeah, Plague Engineer here would be very good.
Yeah, and honestly, if you're playing on this server and if you don't have at least 2 Plague Engineers somewhere in your deck and you're running black, you better be, because otherwise Bass is just going to run you over with his little angry green men and you're going to be embarrassed. It is just how it is on this server. You have to be running the angry green men. And we see a hymn to Torah.
I actually like hymning here, just
for
the small chance that, if you can actually hit the Grove and the Punishing Fire, you could be in a not bad spot.
I agree. There's a Punishing Fire. Do we have the Grove? Do we have the Grove?
Do we have the Grove? Do we have the Grove? Oh, we do!
Oh! Oh! Clip it! Clip it! Prez called it. Oh, that was good. Oh, that
must
good.
feel so good if you're in Mr. Jack Dax.
Oh yeah, that was good. That was Jack wanted to hit those 2 cards, and boy howdy he got it. Oh hi Mango, I'm sorry I woke you up. And tired Papa Smokes. That's a pretty great username. Thank you for the follow. Ooh, that was a good hymn. That was a very good hymn.
That was.
See,
sure.
this
now,
is
now to be fair, if Niz draws another Grove of the Burn Willows, all is for naught. But regardless, there's no real way to stop that.
Yeah, I really think that him, as much as I love Veil of Summer, I want him back. Heck, Veil of Summer is a phenomenal card. It gave like non-blue green decks an answer. It gave them it gave them so much. But then it got picked up by blue decks, and now Hymn to Torok is no longer a card. It makes me sad because I love Hymn to Torok.
Yeah.
Okay,
Here we
now
go.
we're
We get the
seeing
Seasoned Pyromancer discarding the Ancient Tomb and then drawing one card.
Season
Oh no, it's discarding. Drawing 2 cards. Maybe I misunderstood how Seasoned Pyromancer works.
Well, you draw how many cards you give up. So he gave up. Oh, Niskelman gave up 1. So Niskelman drew 1 more. Discard 2 cards, then draw. Oh no, draw 2 cards. Yeah.
Okay. Oh. Okay. Yeah. You just discarded everything that was left in his hand. Then. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. Always draw 2.
Draw 2.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So we're gonna see a Stoneforge Mystic here, and it looks like we're still a little shy on mana here, unfortunately.
What are you going here for Stoneforge Mystic?
Right in this particular spot, like given that we don't know what was drawn by Niz, I actually like the Batterskull here, I think. Just because that it is a big creature, and the other thing too is the Seasoned Pyromancer can start swinging in for, 4 next turn with the double exalted.
Yeah. I like the Batterskull as well. I think you need a clock, you need something. You also need some life gain. Like honestly.
Exactly. The life gain is another huge part too. So
Yeah. Yeah.
okay, looks like we're going for a Jite here.
Okay, Jit's solid as well.
Yeah.
Like really great.
The other thing too to remember is there's also that Bone Crusher Giant who can come down here at some point as well.
Yep.
Ooh.
Oh,
Ooh.
Blood Braid
If this hits a pillage, this is bad.
Oh, even
that's
worse.
Real bad.
Oh man. See, that's the thing.
For 5. Wow.
That's the one thing it's the downside of Stoneforge Mystic. If you go for the Batterskull and you get your Stoneforge Mystic removed, now you're stuck with a 5 mana play.
Yeah, which in this particular case, I kind of agree, and perhaps they were or Mr. Jack Dax was thinking about that. What if this Batterskull gets stranded?
Exactly. So having that Jit, going for that Jit was honestly like the play, and honestly, Galaxy Brain, good job, Jax.
Yeah.
But yeah, fortunately, that Bloodbraid Elf is a clock. And Champagne, yeah, I agree. Like that's the reason why it is gas in Modern Jund. Don't get me wrong, I love getting Junded out. Oh, I love playing Jund. It's one of those things that when you're playing the same amount for Legacy deck, I can't play Modern Jund.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that being said, I love watching Jund go off. Such a fun deck. And
so
what are we seeing?
Land number 3 here.
I'm saying Plague Engineer. With how fast that slam is, it's got to be a Plague Engineer.
Yeah. Either that or a Deluge, but
yeah, having a Deluge right now would be killer.
Because if you have a Deluge or like a Deluge would be fantastic. But if that's the case, it's kind of what are you thinking about? Unless there's something I don't know, but because that's the other problem too is that you don't want to pick off just the Pyromancer or just the Bloodbraid Elf because then it incentivizes the exalted triggers, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Which I guess it's same amount of damage regardless, but
yeah, it looks like Jack's pausing here. Let's check in with our table spotter. He is tanking. He's tanking hard.
I don't blame him.
Mother runes.
Yeah. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, I'm wondering, because Jax was so excited for this 3 mana play. Oh, okay. Ooh. Eliminate. Yeah. What do you hit though?
You can't hit the Bloodbraid Elf, so.
Oh, okay, yeah, you have to go for the season. But even then, that's that Bloodbraid Elf is attacking for 5 now.
Yeah.
God, Noble Hierarch's so good.
Land. Well, that's the other thing too, as well, is that we also do have that Bone Crusher Giant that's on an adventure right now. So that's always something to keep in mind too.
Yeah.
Yeah, those exalted triggers in that Bloodbraid Elf is nasty because I know in Jax's case they're probably hoping to, they're probably hoping to leave some of leave the mom up in order to get the shields online. but it's kind of what do you do? And the other problem too is that forest, as far as I can remember, is actually a colorless creature still, because the forest doesn't become a green creature, so Mom can't even protect it.
Let's check. It becomes a 0/0 elemental creature with vigilance and haste that still land. Yep, it's
It is
0.
colorless.
Oh, yep. So
Ooh,
he
here
did
we
have the
go.
plague engineer.
Yeah. So you got to think about what to do here. I kind of like the still naming the human here, just because it'll get those nobles off the table. Because
I
that's the other
agree.
problem as well, is that Nissa could also just take up targeting the forest again, and then it becomes a 6/6, and then you get the exalted, and now you have this 8-power creature that's coming in.
No, you can't. You can't target the same creature, same forest. It has to be a non-creature land you control.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, I never knew that, and then I double checked that. But yeah, no, it's still a very good card. Don't get me wrong.
Excellent. Yeah.
I mean,
I apparently misread that card a while
there's
ago.
there's 9 damage that's coming in, and also this stomping ground now taps for double. That is a green and
As
red
does the
that's
Taiga
produced.
too.
Yeah, exactly. Both of these lands.
Yeah.
That's 4 mana right there. Not to mention an untap. So okay, Bone Crusher Giant.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the power of adventures.
Yeah, and then taking up again.
Yeah.
Wow, this is a lot of damage coming in.
Yeah, unfortunately, just stumbling on those lands early. I put Jax behind, but that hymn to Turok, it was still legendary though.
Yeah.
That hymn to Turok was just perfect. That's
if
what I
nothing else
needed in
went
my
right this
life.
game, that was good.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, Champagne, that is a good point. That engineer must have been drawn this turn, because I don't really see a reason not to have done that over the Mother of Runes last turn at all.
Yeah.
Other than to just leave it, but yeah, no, that hymn was great though. I will agree with you there.
Oh yeah, that hymn was perfect. That was what I needed. Okay, what are we seeing here? 3 mana, 1 mana floating, and Tyler's
Wow.
Tracker. So
That's
outside
so
of a
gross too, because they Niskelman tapped 2 lands to make 4 mana to cast the Bone Crusher Giant, and then attacked with the Vigilant lands, and now we're tapping them for again 4 more mana.
that was disgusting. Yeah.
Yeah,
Unfortunately
and Jax is just
here.
scooping it right up.
Yep. Well, this is a case of big deck goes bigger than your deck.
Yep.
Oh, and there was that Mirror Crusader missing the 1 white mana for it.
Yep,
All right, so that's the end of round 1, everybody. So we are going to be back here with round number 2 in just a little bit here, and that's going to be with my homie Prez versus Champagne. And so we're getting a new co-commentator and a new chat member with Champagne headed into the fight.
Yep. Anyway, yeah, I will see you, I guess, again in round 3. I'm heading down to the tables there, and yeah, I'll see you all in a bit.
Yep, see you all in a bit. We'll be back here in just a little bit, everybody.